game. Pinpoint control, very good cutter. Really threw his curveball a lot more than usual. Typically it's a cutter changeup combination, but an excellent curveball for Wade last night.
17 curveballs, Mike. The most he had thrown since 2014, as you can see. The final line for Wade, those 10 strikeouts, matching a career best, and in Wade fashion, doing it very efficiently, only 84 pitches. That leads us to tonight's Lexus pitching matchup. It's good to see the King back off the disabled list tonight.
It's been 15 days since he's had a start for Felix, so we're going to see where he's at early in the ball game. I think we're going to just do the same thing, using his curveball a little bit more early in counts. The White Sox, a very aggressive team. He'll eventually get to his changeup. We'll see where his fastball is, probably right around 90, 91 miles an hour.
A quality start for Felix in April in Chicago. On the other side, Dylan Covey, a young man really struggling recently.
Yeah, he really has been, and he has a good fastball. His average fastball this year right around 94 miles an hour, which is up a couple miles an hour than what he's used to, but his fastball has also been hit. Batting average well over 300. I think the Mariners will be aggressive on his fastball early. You see the numbers and what he's done his last 5 starts, ERA over 11.
Pretty eventful here at Safeco Field last night and tonight. Of course, last night we had the Pearl Jam fireworks show, and tonight, D. Gordon bobblehead night inside Safeco. 20,000 fans walking away with that beauty. We've got more coming right up. By your local Ford stores. By the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting rock legends Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo August 3rd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. It is another spectacular night here in Seattle. The Mariners a chance for a series win, or the win tonight. Of course, last night, Mariners winning game 1, and part of the recipe, Mike, 4 for 4 for Mr. D. Gordon.
Yeah, great sign for the Mariners. D. Gordon leading things off for the Mariners last night with a base hit, and then a bunt base hit a little bit later. Just a perfect bunt for D. As Aaron mentioned, 4 hits in last night's ball game, and he and Segura at the top of the lineup. Big part of the Mariners offense. D hitting .366 when leading off a game this year.
And tonight, of course, is D. Gordon bobblehead night. So what might D have in store for us here this evening? As once again, he is leading things off for the Mariners. You know, Mike, it is UW night here at the ballpark.
That's great news.
Heather Tarr, the Huskies head softball coach, thrown out the first pitch. No surprise, a strike.
Yep, pretty good four-seam fastball.
We got the Mariners and the White Sox coming right up. The King off the DL and up on the mound tonight to face Chicago.
Mariners versus White Sox on Root Sports.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Back out to left field. There it goes. There goes D. He slides in. He's safe. On a very happy Felix day as the King activated from the disabled list, was sidelined with a lower back injury. He is back at it tonight for Game 2, the middle game of this three-game series. The Mariners and the Chicago White Sox. It is absolutely heaven outside. Inside Safeco Field. The Mariners winners in Game 1. A chance for a series win with a victory here tonight. Happy to have you with us for Mariners Baseball on Root Sports. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Blowers, and our entire Root Sports crew. Mariners will face this White Sox lineup.
White Sox have struggled offensively this year. They are 13th in runs scored in the American League. Yohan Moncada, he will lead things off. You want to be careful. 12 home runs on the year for the leadoff hitter, Jose Abreu. He's the power in the lineup. He's hitting third, 13 home runs for him. And hitting ninth is Tim Anderson. He leads the team with 21 stolen bases. For Felix, as Aaron mentioned, good to have him back off the disabled list. 19 starts this year, an 8.7 record, 5.13 ERA, has 87 strikeouts, over 36 walks. Opponents hitting .263 off of Felix. And some changes to the defense. Ben Gamble will get the start in center field. Heredia out of the lineup today. Daniel Vogelback isn't really called. He's going to get the start at first base, and David Freitas will do the catching.
Last night went just about perfectly for the Mariners. A close, narrow two-run victory against the White Sox. Diaz the save, some magnificent starting pitching. Nelson Cruz a couple of ribbies. Good to see Felix back on the mound. As now Felix is walking the wrong way, Mike. Something's going on over there by the dugout.
I'm really not sure what he's looking for.
Getting his mouth guard or something.
You know what? You might be right about that.
There
it is. Mouth guard.
Well, now Felix is all set and ready to go. Well, it's been 15 days, Mike, like you mentioned, since he's been up on the mound.
He was excited. It's great to have him back. Felix this year's average fastball, 89 miles an hour. Of course, the great changeup. His curveball has been a good pitch for him this year. And you're going to see it a lot tonight. Opponent's hitting 194 off of the curveball.
Starts Moncada off with strike one. Now, some people might be wondering, why does a pitcher need a mouth guard? I asked Felix this a couple of years ago, and he said it keeps him from biting his lips when he was pitching, which is not the answer that I was expecting, but I wasn't necessarily expecting anything in particular. As Vogelback down to his chest, Felix in time. Moncada is out.
Really good play by Daniel. Romero Supermo and diving backhand. Perfect flip. Felix catches the front portion of the base. Well done.
Two guys combining for out number one. Here comes Yolmer Sanchez, the number 2 hitting third baseman.
I noticed that there are quite a few players that will have a mouth guard in, and this to relax them instead of grinding their teeth all the time.
First pitch swinging. Sanchez. Gamble gets a start in center. Very quickly, 2 outs.
Well, no surprise to see the White Sox swinging away. They were really aggressive last night, and that's basically the scouting report on them.
I think Nelson Cruz fits in that category that you were just talking about. As they put the shift on here for Abreu. StatCast AI powered by AWS. We saw last night the White Sox defensively very aggressive with the shifts. Of course, the Mariners are as well. The number's not quite as lofty this year for Abreu as in years past. One and one.
That is a quality fastball. 90 miles an hour with some sink to it on the outside corner at the knees. If he can locate the fastball like that tonight, you're going to see a lot of ground ball outs.
A beauty to make it 1-2. Tough numbers for Abreu against Felix in his career. The Kings pitch. And the dirt, 2-2. Felix facing the White Sox for the second time. Faced Chicago on the south side back in April. A quality start, 3 runs over 6 with 6 strikeouts. Back to Gamble. And a very clean and tidy 8-pitch first inning. Felix getting through the first unscathed as we go to the home half. On his bobblehead night, D. Gordon leading things off for the Jack-in-the-Box Mariners starting lineup.
Well, the Mariners third in average in the American League, and D. Gordon helping with that. 4 hits in last night's ball game. Nelson Cruz, the cleanup hitter, had a couple of RBIs last night. Vogelback and Freitas will round out the 9 for the Mariners. Dylan Covey will get the start for the White Sox. 11 starts for him, a 5.69 ERA. Opponent's hitting .290 against him. His average fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Now, Mike, we saw this last night from Sanchez. He is shaking hands with Covey on the mound. I mean, he's even with the slap.
Well, he'll back up now with 2 strikes on D. We saw D drop a bunt last night, and he had to just pick it up and put it in his pocket. No chance to throw him out, so he was just going to take that option away from him.
3 pitches, all strikes, getting Gordon.
Covey will throw his fastball a lot on average this year, 66% of the time, and most of the time it'll be his slider. And the defense for the White Sox, they are last in fielding percentage, so they've made a lot of mistakes. Out in right field, Avisail Garcia just off the disabled list to get the start in right. Sanchez and Abreu playing the corners. Omar Narvaez will do the catching.
Broken bat. Right back to Covey on the mound. Very quickly, 2 outs. That brings up Mitch Haniger. Well, last night over 43,000 inside Safeco Field to watch the Mariners win, and the special Pearl Jam postgame fireworks show. Another full house expected here tonight for Game 2. The series wraps up tomorrow. Mariners will then be off on Monday before the Giants come to town. Mike, you try to do anything out of the ordinary when you're in Haniger's situation here, 3rd batter in, and Covey, until that pitch, had thrown 4 pitches to get 2 outs?
I think it depends on what the overall scouting report is going to be in the game plan, but typically they'll take a strike trying to get him to throw a few more pitches because of the quick outs that he was able to get on D. Gordon, Gene Segura. The one thing that you don't want is you don't want Mitch to take a fastball down the middle of the plate that maybe he hits out of the ballpark, so he'll be a little more selective. If there's a good count for him, elevated fastball, let him swing away. Mitch with 18 home runs on the year. The other part about it too is you mentioned that he had been struggling lately, and you look at his fastball again, 94 miles an hour, but opponent's hitting .319 on his fastball, and the Mariners a very good fastball hitting club. I don't think you want to take that away from him.
Haniger thinking ball 4. Full count. Jordan Baker, our home plate umpire. Part of the umpiring crew of the National League wild card game last year. There's ball 4. 2-out walk extends the inning. I'll bring the entire family out to the ballpark tomorrow for Boeing Salute to Kids Day when the Mariners host these White Sox. 1:10 is our first pitch time. All kids 14 and under will receive a Mariners cap, and thanks to KeyBank, will be invited to run around the bases post-game. Tickets can be had at mariners.com. Two outs, Haniger aboard for Nelson Cruz. The 1-0. Evens it up. Now for Covey, this is only his 24th career major league start. his last 5 times out, pitching to a tune of an ERA well over 11.5. And an opposing average of nearly 350. To Sanchez. Long throw to first base. Haniger stranded. We've played an inning from Safeco Field. Mariners and the White Sox, 0-0. We know the first inning has been troublesome at times this year for Felix, but very tidy in the first inning tonight.
Yeah, just 8 pitches. You know, field his position, get the first out, and the last out, a couple of fly balls out to center field. So a good sign for Felix's fastball at 90 miles an hour. And we did see his curveball in the first inning.
8 pitches to get the first 3 outs. Now facing the cleanup hitting DH Daniel Palka. First pitch curveball for strike 1. We saw that a whole lot last night.
I thought it was just great to see last night, and talked about it with Wade LeBlanc. He really pitched well, but foul ball for Freitas. But for LeBlanc last night, 10 strikeouts, and I thought the first inning they were really aggressive with him, and he had to make an adjustment. They ended up scoring a run, a couple of doubles in the first, and after that he started to go to his curveball just to steal a strike and slow them down a little bit, and it worked great. I mentioned it, a season high 17 curveballs last night. Typically he'll throw 5, maybe 6 in an outing. So great game plan.
The 1-2. Now the White Sox obviously really struggling this year. 20 games outside of first place held by the Indians in the Central. No team has a clearer path to the postseason than the Cleveland Indians do. The Central is just such a down division this year. The White Sox have lost 6 in a row on the road. They have lost 12 of their last 14 away from the south side of Chicago. As you look at the updated standings in the Central, Twins the next closest team, nearly 9 games behind the Tribe. First punch out tonight for Felix, as Palka meets the changeup for out number 1.
Yeah, for Felix, he's able to throw the changeup after the fastball inside, move him off the plate. Primera Supremo come back with the changeup at 87 miles an hour. Well located down out of the strike zone. Opponents this year hitting .213 off of the changeup. How about his curveball? I think just 194 on his curveball this year.
Abisail Garcia, the right fielder, activated today from his second hamstring injury this year. Mariners saw his first back in April on a cold day in Chicago. He sees the ball well here in Seattle for whatever reason. If you go back to that strikeout to Palka, Mike, a little bit of significance for Felix. That was strikeout number 1,300 here at Safeco Field. It's pretty remarkable when you look at strikeouts by pitchers in a ballpark, the home ballpark, of course. Felix is in the top 10 all time. He has the 9th most strikeouts at his ballpark of any pitcher ever. Next on the list is Tom Seaver at Shea, and he's just 70 strikeouts ahead of Felix.
Give me a few more names on that list, because that was an impressive name right there.
It's a great list. And another. And the changeup once again. Garcia greeted back from the DL with a punch out.
Well, we weren't sure with Felix. It'd been 15 days. You take a look at the circle change grip. 15 days since his last start. So I'm wondering maybe if he was going to have a little bit of command issues in the first couple innings, trying to figure things out. That has not been the case. He is sharp. Excellent fastball command, good curveball and changeup to go with it.
Steve Carlton is the all-time strikeout to ballpark record holder, as Narvaez, a hot hitter, climbs in. Catcher batting nearly 290. Carlton at Veterans Stadium, over 1,600 career strikeouts. Mickey Lolich, Tiger Stadium, Walter Johnson, Griffith Stadium, Don Sutton. That's a strike to make it 1-1. Nolan Ryan, Phil Niekro.
Phil Niekro.
How about Roger Clemens at Fenway, not too far ahead of Felix. It's a cute foul. Hit off of Narvaez to make it 1-2. You know, the interesting thing, if you look at the top 20 strikeouts in terms of pitchers at a ballpark, that's not a surprise. Randy's on there twice, 2 ballparks.
That is not a surprise.
In the Kingdom and in Arizona. The Kings 1-2. Very close. Felix looked like he was thinking maybe strike 3 instead of ball 2.
Kings Court is packed tonight.
It is.
Very good crowd. Another good changeup. Borderline down out of the strike zone. EQC tracer had it just below the zone.
Another 2-2. Inside. First 3-ball count for a White Sox hitter tonight. Seven-pitch plate appearance for Narvaez, who draws a 2-out walk.
Missing with a curveball just off the outside corner.
I'll nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. 2 outs to walk to Narvaez. Here is Leori Garcia, hitting .289 of the year. In center field tonight, Simon right field in last night's game. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. 10 strikeouts last night for LeBlanc added to what has been a strikeout-laden season for the White Sox as Felix has an 0-2 count here. White Sox have punched out the third most in the majors this year. Only the Padres and the Rangers have whiffed more often.
Ten strikeouts last night, and Wade threw just 84 pitches. That's hard to do. Double-digit strikeouts. You're going to see the pitcher well over 100.
And maybe not nearly as deep in the game as what we saw from LeBlanc.
7 1/3 last night.
Freitas. Stretched by Vogelback at first base. And Felix will complete things. Keep the White Sox off the board. We go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless. Welcome KPU subscribers from Ketchikan, Alaska. Thanks for rooting on the Mariners all season long. And for Mike, myself, and all of us here at Root Sports and the Mariners, we certainly appreciate you tuning in. We hope it is beautiful in Ketchikan tonight as it is here in Seattle. Seager, Span, Gamble come to the plate for the Mariners in the home second. Ball one from Covey.
Kyle was 1 for 3 last night. Hit a double, scored a run. I was by the batting cage today, and Kyle's group was hitting, and he was having a conversation with Edgar, and it's a new bat that he has, bat company, if you will, and he was talking to Edgar about it and trying to decide whether it was a bat that he was going to bring into the ball game or not. That's typical. Hitters will get a dozen bats and they'll take some batting practice, see how it feels. And Edgar took the bat from him. And today, I like the balance. Feels good. And Seager is, yep, it's going right in the game. So he went from being on the fence to, yep, no problem.
Stamp of approval. That's great.
Two-seam fastballs inside. That's something that Edgar was telling me about Covey, as he will throw the ball to his glove side of the plate. To lefties, it'll be inside, run it back to the corner, going back there again. This is location, and he'll do the same thing to the righties on the same side, start it off the plate away and try to run it back.
count to Seager. Bernard Span on deck for the Mariners. Soft fly ball. Sanchez, who was over the shift, covering some ground. For 1 out. For Covey, the young man we mentioned making only his 24th major league start, he has a bit of a connection with a current Mariner in the bullpen. Out of high school, he went on to pitch at the University of San Diego. Was teammates with James Pazos there. Interesting thing about Covey, and really was awfully scary. He was drafted in the first round by the Milwaukee Brewers. Covey was taken 1 pick after the White Sox selected Chris Sale. This goes to show you what kind of arm he had coming out of high school. As you might imagine, signed, or was offered rather, a very lucrative signing bonus for being drafted that high in the first round. And he was expecting a phone call from Milwaukee saying everything is buttoned up and ready to go and you are officially part of the Brewers. When instead he got a phone call from the Brewers saying that the results of his physical came in and they discovered that he had type 1 diabetes. He was not aware of it at all. It really saved his life. He's been able to obviously go on and have a very normal baseball career despite that, but decided not to go and start his professional career. Instead went on to pitch at San Diego instead, where he met Pazos. Pazos, meanwhile, was coming out of junior college to go pitch at the University of San Diego. He was expecting to be in the rotation. Here comes Covey, a first-round talent, and all of a sudden Pazos is in the bullpen.
The good news is it's worked out for both of them.
I'd say so.
Covey here tonight, he's been 95 to 97 with his fastball.
Span thinking he was about to take first base, instead a full count. Mariners center fielder Ben Gamble on deck. Here comes the 3-2. Moncada at second base handles it routinely for out number 2. Join the Mariners at Safeco Field for a West Coast showdown when they host the Giants for a 2-game interleague series beginning Tuesday. Tickets for the hottest series of the summer are available at Mariners.com. Giants in 4th place in the West, only 4 games outside of first, held by the Dodgers. Manny Machado and the Dodgers. We'll be seeing Machado and company coming to Safeco Field later on this summer. That's ball 1 to each of the last 5 Mariners hitters.
That's something that they're going to have to take advantage of. If you can get into some hitters counts and get the fastball, you already know that he throws the fastball a lot. Take advantage of it.
Anderson showing off some range. The shortstop for the White Sox gets Gamble, and Scott Service has his arm extended, thinking maybe this is worth taking a look at. And he will not. Close play at first.
Good closing speed by Ben. Was not out by much. Close play.
Side retired in order. Clyde rail, buses, ferries, and streetcars. Learn more at getorcasmart.com. Delmonico fouls off the first pitch from Felix to begin the top of the third. Delmonico batting 8th, activated off the disabled list last night after missing a ton of time. Fractured a finger roughly in mid-May. Been out since then.
This might be the most aggressive team swinging the bats that I have seen. Makes sense. A lot of younger players and get out of the batter's box in a hurry, but they are hacking away. Saw it last night. Another strikeout for Felix, his 4th.
He struck out 4 of the last 5 hitters.
And again, right on the outside corner. Some run to it. Anderson was leading off last night, hitting 9th tonight.
Four straight strikes for Felix to open up the third.
Kyle playing in at third.
Nothing at 2. Well, this from the National League. Matt Carpenter homering for the 6th consecutive game. He got him. 5 strikeouts for Felix. He was carving through this White Sox lineup.
Again, right at the bottom of the strike zone. Able to use all of his pitches. Pretty good scouting report from last night's game. We mentioned it with Wade LeBlanc throwing his curveball 17 times. Still mixed in his changeup. But they look like they just want to hit the fastball. Raw speed pitch right there for a strike. Take a look at the defense.
And look close, 1-1. Now, Mike, as we saw the Carpenter note of 6 straight games of the home run, when do you think Griffey starts to sweat a little bit? Not till 7?
Probably not even then. That would be my guess. Couple of borderline pitches at the bottom of the strike zone. Felix not getting the call.
He has hardly thrown a changeup without a swing and miss. Another one. Keep on throwing it tonight, Felix. He strikes out the side in order. 6 punch outs over 3 scoreless. All six of his last outs have come the way of the K.
In 3 innings.
There's Daniel Vogelback getting the start tonight at first base.
I was talking to Scott today. I asked him about Vogelback being in the lineup, and I like what he said. He said, look, he's been hot. I don't want him to sit for too long. I need to get him in the lineup, see what happens. And I think that's the best way to do it. When you have a player that you called up and he was swinging the bat extremely well, try to get him in the lineup as soon as possible. So hopefully that will continue here. Already a good defensive play for him.
He's ahead here, 3-1. Vogelback in the midst of his 4th stint with the Mariners this year. Daniel hitting just over 300 with the Rainiers this season. And a very lofty on base percentage. And he's caught looking. Elevated fastball. Second strikeout tonight for Covey.
Good velocity tonight. Yeah, 95 to 97 miles an hour.
Well, the Mariners host the Astros for a midweek matinee on a Wednesday, August the 1st at 1:10. The first 20,000 fans receive a pack of Topps baseball cards featuring all their favorite players, including James Paxton, Nelson Cruz, and of course Steve Gordon. Head to Mariners.com to pick up your seats. Here's David Freitas. Mariners have 13 left against the Astros. Entering tonight, Mariners 5 games in back if you sit in second place in the division.
10 games left with the A's.
When you look at that series at the A's, took 3 out of 4 against the Astros, and there was questions about who should you root for as a Mariners fan.
It's a tough one.
And you can see the Athletics officially acquiring one of the best relievers in the National League. Sanchez an empty play on a tricky pick for number 2. Well, the last thing that you want as a Mariners fan, as we go back and look at the scoop here.
Well, third base being aggressive, kind of an in-between hop.
All right, Mike, the last thing you want is a team that believes. A team that believes in your division, who believes enough to go out and make a move. That's a pretty notable move for an A's bullpen that has already been very good.
Very good. And I think when you think about the A's, also it's a young lineup for them. The longer that they can hang around, the more confidence they're going to get. So those 10 games that the Mariners have with them, they'll be important. I have it in front of me, but I think the Mariners are 6-3 against the A's so far this year. So they played well against Oakland.
Treinen, of course, an all-star, their closer. Lou Trevino has burst onto the scene this year for the A's. This backpedals Anderson. He's been busy. Nifty play there as the Mariners are retired in order for the second straight inning. Last 7 in a row, in fact, sat down by Covey. Felix has been dialed in tonight ever since that 8-pitch first inning. Now 6 strikeouts over 3 scoreless.
10 batters, 8 first pitch strikes. Make it 9 out of 11. All 6 strikeouts swinging. Pitches out of the strike zone. So Felix knows that the White Sox, they want to swing the bats and get ahead of them with a quality pitch. And you can expand the zone on them, get them to chase.
Gilmer Sanchez leading things off the 4th for the White Sox. Felix had 1-2.
Another curveball from Felix. Excellent changeup tonight. Fastball command has been good, 89 to 91 miles an hour.
The Kings 1-2. And play and in for a base hit.
First hit of the ball game.
Sanchez aboard, brings up Abreu as we look at our CenturyLink What's Next. Reynaldo Lopez making start number 20 for the White Sox. Looking forward to seeing the first start of the second half for Marco Gonzalez, Mike, who has been one of the great storylines for the Mariners in the first half of the season.
Yeah, and he really pitched well working his way into the break. See the 10 wins for him, a 3.41 ERA, 98 strikeouts on the year.
Rare ball 1. Listen to Abreu.
It'd be interesting to watch Scott Service, Mel Stottlemyre, how they manage the innings for Marco in the second half. Something that they have talked about. I'd be surprised if along the way, barring any health issues, if we don't see a 6-man rotation from him for a short period of time. I don't think it's something to stay with, but just to try to take some of the innings back from Marco and Paxton.
Well, whether that is Erasmo Ramirez, who pitched very well last night, working his way back.
Couple innings, right?
With the Rainiers. That gets him.
In with a curveball.
Suddenly 2 men on base. 2 on, nobody out for Polka, the DH.
And it's a curveball. Romero Super Mo, 78 miles an hour.
Whether it's Erasmo, whether it is a piece that is required by Jerry at the deadline, that is something that could most certainly happen for the Mariners. Line to Dee Gordon. Gets rid of it. Squirts out of the hand.
Yeah, wasn't able to get the handle on it. Had a chance for a double play. This ball has really been hit hard off of Felix. He handles the line drive, and then on the exchange trying to throw the ball to second. When he drops it, just slips out of his hand.
One out, 2 on for Garcia. Fresh off the disabled list. Now Garcia was red hot before suffering his second hamstring injury of the season. Gamble quickly turning on it. Then to the track and gone. Garcia's 10th of the season. A smash out to center field, and the White Sox have claimed a 3-0 lead.
Felix had been cruising along. A broken bat, base hit, a hit batter. A line drive, and again being aggressive. First pitch changeup, 85 miles an hour. Actually out in front of it a little bit, but barrels it up. It's at over 400 feet to dead center field.
That brings up the catcher, Narvaez. He goes after the first pitch out towards the gap in left center. Off the base of the wall. After the home run, a double by Narvaez. 4 of the first 5 hitters reaching here in the 4th inning.
It was a fastball. Mel Stottlemyre on his way out to the mound, and this is a fastball that is hit really against the defensive setup. Gamble was out in right center field. Primera Supermo, he barrels it up when it hit in the middle of the fence. You can see Ben shading towards right center. It's all the way out towards the scoreboard.
One out, a man in scoring position for Garcia, who struck out in the second. Shin-Soo Choo's 52 game on base streak officially snapped tonight. Taking on the Indians. Inside.
Like another curveball, so lost the feel of the curveball here in this inning. Really good pitch for him through the first 3.
Now barely missing with that curve to make it 2-0. Felix had faced just 1 over the minimum through the first 3 innings before this 4th. Out to the gap in right center. Narvaez getting waved in. It's bobbled. Throw to second base. Tag. Got him. Garcia out at second. A run does cross though, and it's 4-0 Chicago.
There was a base hit on the changeup that was up in the zone. .88 miles an hour. Ben takes his eye off the ball for just a minute, drops it, then picks it back up. Good throw. See him looking towards the runner. A strong throw, help Felix out.
Single and an error on Gamble to allow the runner to score. With the shift on, right to D. Gordon to wrap up the inning. But a productive one for the White Sox. They push 4 across the plate to take the lead. Brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Well, on Husky night, UW night here at the ballpark. Look at the Montlake Bridge. The White Sox have taken a 4-0 lead.
And the Mariners looking for their first hit. This will be the second time through the lineup. Had some good counts, some fastballs to hit.
Strike one on Segura.
There's a
leading
glare.
things off.
Some sort of glare that's bothering Gene. Sure where it's coming from. That's the first time I've seen that.
Well, that would make a nearly impossible job even more difficult, I would think.
Something that was brief, which is good news. Something was bothering him.
To Sanchez at third. On a bounce. Abreu can't hold on to it. And Segura pedals into second base. The White Sox have had their defensive woes this year.
Well, and that's the reason why you want to run hard, to put the pressure on him. For Sanchez, rushes the throw. Gene hustles down the line. Abreu not able to make the pick. Bounces up on him a little bit. Only the second base runner for the Mariners. Haniger with a walk back in the first.
E5. Well, meet Mitch Haniger. Donate to Fred Hutch for your chance to meet the Mariners star. Visit fredhutch.org/give.
Mitch with 67 RBIs on the year. Looking to add to it.
Haniger batting just over .290 with runners in scoring position this season. Good speed at second and Segura. Time call.
Garcia, the center fielder, really shading towards right, and is shallow. Huge gap in left center.
That brushes Mitch back.
.96 miles an hour will straighten you up.
The 2-1 off the plate. Haniger trying to get on base for the second time tonight. Full.
Good fastball to hit right in the middle of the plate. 96 miles an hour.
sure the home plate umpire and Jordan Baker all right. Looks like everybody's in good shape.
It's just enough of the glove. That's the side of the face mask.
Second walk. Haniger takes tonight. He does not go.
Lay off a slider.
Mariners with something cooking here in the fourth. It brings up Nelson Cruz.
Mariners with a number of chances in last night's ball game, and then just scoring the 3 runs. You and I were talking about it, Aaron, last night. Guys back in the lineup for the first time after the break, and I was telling you that for myself, it was always a little bit uncomfortable that first day back. Just kind of seemed out of sorts. So I was talking to Scott Service about it, and I was telling him about our conversation during last night's ball game to see if there was something to that, or if he felt that way when he was playing. And he said, yeah, he thought there was something to it.
Segura takes off. Tag by Sanchez gets Segura.
And that's a mistake. I am not sure. Dive in, throws a little bit high. Sanchez able to put the tag on him. And catching his hands on the dirt, didn't quite slide the way he wanted to, but that's a situation where he probably ran on his own right there.
And Narvaez got Gordon last night, gets Segura tonight. Anderson on a bounce, and it's held on to at second base by Moncada. 2 outs, Cruz aboard. Haniger cut down at second.
Again, the White Sox have really had their issues fielding. They are last in the American League in fielding percentage, but looked like it was going to be a double play, and they're getting the force out. Break for the Mariners to get this inning going.
Outs, Cruz aboard for Seager. So was Scott ever a little out of sorts that first game back?
Oh yes, he was talking about that. He thought there was something to that, and he thought that last night maybe guys a little bit uncomfortable trying to do too much. They ended up winning the game, of course, 3-1, but he was hoping that their at bats would be a little bit better here tonight. And he thought, you know, for players, some of them said first, second AB is okay, and some of them, as you were talking about, could take a couple of games. They're so used to playing every day and taking all the swings that they do on a daily basis, and all of a sudden you get 4 days off. For a collective group, that can be tough.
For all these guys, barring injury, it's the only time that happens all season where you were out of the game for that long. 2. Good stuff on Kyle Lewis. We just saw there representing the Mariners in the Futures game. During the All-Star break, but just promoted up to the Texas League in AA Arkansas. Mariners' former first-round draft pick. Two outs, Cruz at first base. 0-2 to Seager.
Staying with the fastball, trying to work the outer half of the plate.
Down on strikes. Third punch out for Kobe through 4 scoreless. you won Washington's lottery, just imagine the kind of bobblehead collection you could put together. Play today. Tonight is D. Gordon bobblehead night at the ballpark. One of the things that makes this bobblehead a little unique is that D is a co-designer of the bobblehead.
Is he?
It was his idea to be leaning on the lightning bolts.
I think it's a nice touch.
Tim Anderson fouls away the first pitch for strike one. Now for D, this is his second bobblehead. Had one last year with Miami. I was asking D earlier today as he was shooting hoops inside the Mariners clubhouse. That's going to be kind of where that ranks for him, having a bobblehead in his honor. I think we kind of take for granted that if you are a star of this game that you automatically have one. There's a play for Seager.
I'm surprised to hear that that's just the second one for him.
Well, he said, he's being very honest about this, that he's like, listen, I've been an all-star. I've won a batting title, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. And he said going into last year, he's thinking, what am I getting a bobblehead? Now he's got two. So this is kind of up there with those things on the resume for D. Now
and he wasted no time being a part of the design team.
Yes.
Okay.
He had two huge boxes of his bobblehead at his locker today, and he looked at those, pointing and said, that's not nearly enough. He said, Grandma's church in Florida, they need 100. Moncada in the midst of a 13-game on-base streak.
And hopefully Felix will settle down here. Last inning was a tough one, giving up the 4 runs, and he was really cruising. Previous 6 outs that he had recorded were all strikeouts swinging. And you can see it, the 3-run home run by Garcia, who's just off the disabled list. Dead center field.
All 4 runs for the White Sox coming in that 4th inning. 0-1-2. Moncada with 12 home runs on the season, one of them against Felix back in Chicago. As the count pushes full. Gordon charging. Short throw. 2 outs. Both on the ground. Starting Monday, July 30th, the Mariners will host division rival the Houston Astros for a 3-game series. Get your tickets to see Jose Altuve, the Astros, squaring off with Mitch Haniger and the Mariners by heading to mariners.com. Two up, 2 down for Sanchez. Finds the grass in right center. Haniger gets it there. A 2-out single from Sanchez, a multi-hit night for the number 2 hitting third baseman. Well, fans, our annual Ultimate Fan Contest has officially returned. Root Sports will be looking for the Ultimate Fan in the state of Idaho throughout the month of July. Send us a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan, and you could win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, a personalized jersey, and more. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. 2-out Sanchez aboard for Abreu. He was hit by a pitch his last time up, which was in the 4th inning. Would later come around to score. Abreu, of course, got off to just a tremendous start in his career. He joined Albert Pujols as the only other player with 30 homers and 100 runs batted in the first 2 years to begin a career. Just remarkable. Coming over from Cuba.
He's had his struggles this year, hitting .251 with 13 home runs. Not near the type of production that you're talking about here.
Foul. In fact, his rookie season to that point, no hitter in Major League history had hit 25 home runs faster than Abreu to begin a career. Needed just 67 games to get to that mark. Jordan Baker's been wearing the bullseye tonight.
He's been hit a few times.
Somehow smiling about it. You can see the production down so far this year. Last year, the blend of average and power for Abreu. Felix is 2-2. Sanchez over at first base. 9 steals and 11 tries. Another 2-2. Another foul ball.
Six pitches so far in the at bat.
It's a packed Kings court tonight. Middle game of the series. Mariners winning last night in game 1. Sanchez having to quickly tiptoe back. Another 2-2 inside. Felix trying to put Abreu away to send this to the bottom of the 5th. His payoff. Another foul.
Everything inside, in on his hands, either on the corner or just off the plate.
Pitch number 9 to Abreu. Same result.
Pretty good changeup. It's on the inside corner. It's down out of the strike zone.
Felix threw 8 pitches in the first. This will be the 10th pitch to Abreu. Here it comes. Lost him. 2 out, 10 pitch walk.
Felix now 77 pitches, 50 strikes.
Sanchez in a second. Palka 0 for 2 tonight. A line out. Really stung it. Over to D. Gordon, has also struck out on a changeup. Strike 1. Time now called. Felix got the first 2 outs fairly quickly. And a single to Sanchez, a lengthy plate appearance, a walk to Abreu. 0-2.
The curveball.
That's something we did not expect to be seen when we finished the 3rd inning. That is Chase and Bradford warming up here in the 5th. Felix was cruising through 3. The 0-2. Felix tonight with 7 strikeouts, as it is now official, to match a season high. So a couple of men are left stranded. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Can't spell baseball without BSB. Another gorgeous night in Seattle. The White Sox leading 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Mike, Dylan Covey came into tonight's game really struggling. His last 5 starts pitched to an 11.70 earned run average so far tonight. Or scoreless. What are you seeing from Covey?
A better fastball than I expected. You look at his average fastball this year, right around 94 miles an hour. Tonight he's been 95 to 97 with a pretty good run to it. So I think that surprised the guys. They had him in some trouble in the last inning. Base running mistake ended up costing him in that inning, but really they have done nothing with him. Haven't picked up a base hit yet, and I think that his fastball has been exceptional. We've only seen his slider a little bit. He's basically stayed with it.
We knew that fastball had some velocity to it. We also knew that he threw it a ton. This is caught in shallow center by Anderson. To the Ford Sports Desk, we're checking with Tom.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much. It's time to play our favorite game, #WhereIRoot, presented by Alaska Airlines, as we check in with Mariners fans, including Brian, and much to his dismay, no sign of Kyle anywhere. We presume Seager, but there is a sign up in the quad for Kyle Court. Bachelorette party at the park. Lindsay, thanks for sending that in. I have a feeling their night may not end after the ball game this evening. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Tom. Gamble digs in here with 1 out. Gamble had a hit taken away by Anderson at shortstop, showing some range off. His last time up, and right back to Anderson. A little easier this time around. 2 outs.
Bradford still throwing in the pen, so I think Felix is probably done for the night. Jason.
80 pitches for Felix.
Yeah, but it's been 15 days. He was on the disabled list. And I think the other part of it, too, is for Scott, he has to find a way to get some of these guys in the bullpen in the game. You don't want them to sit around and have it be 7, 8, 9 days since they've been in a ball game, because you're going to need them. So I think more than anything, though, it's more of Felix and having that time off in his first start back.
We'll go back the opposite way to Delmonico. Now, that did not take much for Covey as he breezes through the bottom of the 5th. Look at Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Now, the big inning was the 4th for the White Sox. Garcia, first game back after disabled, is smashing a 418-foot 3-run homer to open things up for Chicago.
His 10th home run on the year, and it was on a changeup for Felix tonight. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. A couple of walks, 7 strikeouts. He threw 80 pitches, 53 strikes.
Leads us to our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen as Chasen Bradford has taken the mound for the Mariners. He will work in the 6th.
For Chasen, 31 appearances, a 2.72 ERA, 27 strikeouts, over the 8 walks, almost hitting .230 against him.
And it will be Garcia to lead things off for the White Sox in the 6th. I think, Mike, when you look at the first half for the Mariners and all the reasons for success for the ball club, Chasen Bradford is somebody who very easily flies under the radar, but this was a guy that got into the big leagues last year for the first time with the Mets, acquired by Jerry DiPoto, and this guy we saw in spring training, not knowing a whole lot about, but he has been awfully steady in that bullpen.
He has been, and he's a reason why the Mariners have been able to win so many 1-2 run ball games, is because he typically is going to come into a game and hold the score down where it's at early, as he is tonight here in the 6th, and give the offense a chance to get him back in the ball game. he doesn't stop the other team, they have no chance.
If you look at the top batting averages last year in the major leagues, you'll probably expect to see Jose Altuve at the top of the list, which he was. Mariners just saw the guy who had the second highest average in the majors a season ago. That was Charlie Blackmon. And then it was this guy, Avisail Garcia, an all-star last year, hit .330. Third highest average in the major leagues a season ago. I mean, look at his build, Mike. He is, when he was in Detroit very early on in his career, he was kind of dubbed as a mini Cabrera. From Venezuela, has a very similar build to Miguel. It's a guy who
he can really run.
Good athlete.
Good athlete.
I think he'd be a guy who'd be punishing 40 home runs, but he's kind of on the other end of the spectrum. Has power, but it's a very high average.
Good
Bradford
slider.
strikes out the first man that he sees.
If you have command, you can take advantage of this lineup from the White Sox. Quality strikes early and then just expand the zone. They'll chase.
One up, one down. Here's Narvaez. A walk, a double, a run scored tonight, which kind of continues the trend of the month for the White Sox catcher. 12 for 27 with 2 of his 3 home runs this season in July. Bradford ahead 0-2. Segura. Low throw handled by Vogelback. Close call, Seager and Segura over there.
Typically the rule, if you're a third baseman, is if you can get to it, get to it. Kyle not able to, but a good play by Segura.
That's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. This game delivers an all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Two outs for Leury Garcia. Like I think most people, right, when they think about the infield and they think about the shortstop position, that's kind of the guy, that's the center fielder of the infield, the guy who kind of calls the shots. But you're saying in this case,
yeah, but on a ground ball, most of the time, it'll happen every now and then. Most of the time, he's not going to call off the third baseman. The third baseman is coming across the diamond. You can see how deep Segura was. If he can get to it, it's an easier play. Unfortunately for Kyle, he wasn't able to get there, and James was able to pick him up with a strong throw.
Garcia retired quickly, and it's 3 up, 3 down for Bradford out of the bullpen. Majority of the Seattle Mariners, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. White Sox leading 4-0 as we open up the bottom of the 6th. Mariners trying to get something going against Dylan Covey. Base runners have been few and far between tonight for the Mariners. Greatest looking for the Mariners' first hit tonight. He leads off the bottom of the 6th. Chopper to Sanchez. From the grass, 1 pitch and 1 out. We'll take a look at our Lowe's whole team together. This is inspired by D. Gordon, his 4-hit effort last night. Mariners with 4-hit games this season. D. Gordon doing it for the 3rd time. Nelly Cruz with a couple of 4-hit games. Segura and then Healy. Looking at that list earlier today did make me think a little bit. Look at Nelson Cruz, and a guy who's known more for 40 home runs than for 4 hits in a game. I'm wondering who is atop that 4-hit list this season, and I would have never guessed that the man with the most 4-hit games in the majors, he has 5 of them, is Giancarlo Stanton.
Really? Then you would think Altuve.
Absolutely. Maybe the guys with the high averages. Mookie Betts, maybe.
Maybe Gene Segura.
Sure. Altuve is 2nd on the list. He's done it 4 times, and then it's D and 7 others with 3.
There's a hit. 3rd time through the line might be the charm.
5 1/3 no-hit innings for Covey.
You would think that D. Gordon, after 4 hits last night, would get at least 1 base hit tonight on his bobblehead. Typically, he tries to stay right in the middle of the field.
One out, D aboard for Segura. Gene reaching on an error last time up. Soft pop up to first. And Abreu foul ground. 2 outs. Now that man right there next to D. Gordon, Chris Prieto. If there is one guy that D would help share some credit with his 22 steals this year, of course, D's the man with the speed, but Chris Prieto is the man with the research. Mariners first base coach. Now, Chris, for all the tremendous work he provides for the Mariners and all the base runners, he is the first to praise D. Gordon and how prepared he is, knowing the times and everything else on opposing pitchers.
Well, the other thing that he will do is not just with D when he's out there, but at times he will encourage the guys to take a chance and run. And that's something that Scott had talked about, wanting to see a little more of that in the 2nd half. Of course, you have to pick your spots and run at the right time and take some chances.
And after that, I don't know if there's another guy in the majors in any clubhouse who plays the piano better than Chris Prieto. Add that to the list.
I bet you're probably right about that.
It was maybe last year when we arrived in Minneapolis at the hotel at an unpleasant hour.
It was late.
And there was a grand piano in the lobby that none of us thought twice about until at whatever hour it was. There was Chris Prieto waiting for the elevators to open up, sitting down and belted out a couple of songs for us. Power on deck. Nelson Cruz with Haniger ahead of the count. Pushes full. Trying to get on base for the third time tonight. Has walked twice. Stays fair to Sanchez. Long throw on a line. Haniger retired, as are the Mariners. D. Gordon stranded. 6 innings complete. For every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box this season, a Mariners double play means free jumbo jacks from Jack in the Box. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Good look at the Montlake Cut. New dub night for the ballpark. We move to the top of the 7th. 4-0 White Sox. All 4 of those runs coming in the 4th against Felix. James Pazos, a new pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners.
For Pazos, mid-90s fastball and a slider. 37 appearances on the year, 2.5 ERA, 28 strikeouts, over just 5 walks. Opponents hitting .244 against James.
They'll face batters 8, 9, and 1. Monaco 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground out. Two. Get tailed away.
Pretty good slider.
Pazos with the 0-2. Strike 3 call. Burns him with a fastball. 1 out. along the theme of the Huskies, some tough news today in the organization, the minor leagues, that is, for the Mariners, as Braden Bishop going on Twitter and letting us all know that unfortunately his season is over. He was hit by a pitch that fractured his forearm. Bishop playing with Double-A Arkansas in the Texas League this year, where Kyle Lewis was just promoted to, hitting .284. Good on base percentage, 20 doubles. We've had a chance to get to know Braden a little bit in spring training over the years, Mike. Really a fine young man, and somebody that Jerry DePoto and company thinks very highly of.
Really, as far as the minor league system goes, really jumped up quickly as far as the prospect goes and where he sits. Very good defensive player, runs the bases well. We're talking about his offensive numbers. That's been the biggest change for him. So that's tough news.
He's a California guy who came to Seattle to play college ball. One out, nobody on. 2-0 the count to Anderson. Now, Mike, we talk from time to time about how much better the minor league ballparks are from, let's call it 20 or 30 years ago. But how about the college ballparks from the time that you were at UW? It's what they are like now.
UW, their baseball field and facilities they have right now are quite a bit better than when I was there. Which is great for those kids that are there.
Now, is it better just because of the Mike Blowers banner that's hanging?
No.
Are there other things also, like maybe the view of the ballpark?
Well, yes, yeah, pretty much everything. It's in a completely different area on campus, as a matter of fact. Making the first trip to the College World Series, so it helps on the recruiting side of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Platinum's out for Seager. 2 outs. Now, this season, for every Mariners hit, Fred Hutch will receive a donation from Mariners Care. Hits for Hutch is our way of supporting the life-saving research taking place in Seattle's own Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. Now, Mike, you're a big guy, or a big leaguer after all, and I love when you tell the story of getting in the trainer's room in college, the trainer's room that apparently was shared by the football team as well.
Yeah.
Realizing that you made a right decision to stick to baseball.
Oh yeah, for sure, without question. Yeah, that was a whole different experience.
Moncada, top of the order. Strike one. There's some big boys. Had 0-2 Moncada, a strikeout tonight. Entering this evening, tied for the second most strikeouts in the majors, just 2 behind Joey Gallo. Bradford a clean 1-2-3-6. Pazos now trying to do the same here in the 7th. Another 0-2. Cuts right through it. High velocity up in the zone. And Moncada strikes out for the second time. great if you win Washington's lottery. Play today. Well, the Mariners trying to get on the board against Dylan Covey as we turn the page and go to the bottom of the 7th. Get home field advantage on Silver Bullet Saturdays. Download the Coors Light Rewards app and start earning points towards rewards like Mariners tickets and Coors Light here while supplies last. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Cruz, Seager, and Span coming to the plate for the Mariners. First pitch curveball for a strike to Nelly. Nelson a ground out and a fielder's choice. Behind 0-2. Covey has allowed just the 1 hit through 6 scoreless.
It was an off-speed pitch, but primarily, again, it's been his fastball. And the scouting report is his fastball 93-94. Tonight has been 95-97 with some sink to it.
It's one of those things that none of us can know the answer to, Mike, except for guys down on the field or guys who played. The difference between 92-93 and 94-96.
It's a big difference. I think in today's game, you start jumping up over that 95 range, then it's different as a hitter. I mean, just the way you're thinking, you have to take a few more chances, which means you have to start the bat a little bit early if you're going to catch up to it. And then if, on top of that, you start putting some late movement on it, then it's really difficult. And that's what we're seeing from him tonight. Why tonight? I don't know. Because the scouting report was not that coming into the game, right? And he's really been struggling. And again, wow.
Sanchez vacuums that up. That is not an easy play.
He's been able to catch everything down at third tonight. He's been busy. He's hit right on the button.
On the button, you mean?
We had a game earlier this year. It was the 16 strikeout game for James, and he was talking about it where he could tell the way the ball was coming out of his hand that he had a little extra life on his fastball. And James typically is going to be 95 to 99 miles an hour. And on that night, we saw a lot of 97s and 98, some late life to it, a little more than what he's used to. And then next thing you know, you have 16 strikeouts. Why on that night? Who knows? But he really felt good.
Well, bad timing for the A's in that part, and bad timing for the Mariners tonight.
Right now, all right.
Two-0 on Kyle.
Mixing a few more off-speed pitches now.
Three 3-0 on Seager. A couple of walks tonight from Covey.
Typically Kyle would have the green light 3-0, but down 4 runs, taking all the way.
Soft fly ball out to Delmonico. Fielder puts it away for out number 2. Back to the Ford Sports Desk. We say hello to Tom.
All right, Aaron, more photos from fans, more hashtag Where I Root presented by Alaska Airlines. Shannon sending this one in. Happy late birthday, Matthew. Not sure where you are, but your parents seem to have a good time here at the ballpark, wondering where he is. And U-Ball sending this in from Costa Rica, cheering on the Los Marineros. So we send it upstairs.
Nicely done, Tom. 2 outs for Denard Span. On the first pitch out to Garcia, and he's able to get to it in time to retire the sign in order. Fourth time in 7 frames, Kobe has faced the minimum. Mariners 4-0. I'll make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag #RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. A new pitcher for the 3rd straight inning for the Mariners. Nick Vincent is up on the hill.
And for Nick, 32 appearances, 4.28 ERA, 26 strikeouts and 27 1/3. Opponents hitting .257 against Nick. Fastball right around 90, 91 miles an hour. Cutter 87, 88, and a slider.
Facing Yolmer Sanchez, the 3rd baseman. Starts him off with strike 1. Jammed him. And a little flare over to Kyle Seager. 2 pitches and 1 out. Here's first baseman Jose Abreu. All 4 runs for the White Sox coming in the 4th inning. They've been held off the board every inning other than the 4th. The Mariners bullpen has pitched very well so far tonight through 2 innings.
Well, that 4th inning was a bit strange. Felix was dealing 6 strikeouts through 3 innings, a broken bat, a hit batter, and then the home run.
Garcia out to straightaway center. Hit for the 2nd time tonight. He's been on base 3 times, hit twice, also has drawn a walk. Be sure to stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Chances always to hear from the skipper, hear from Felix Hernandez as well. White Sox leading 4-0, 1 out, 1 on, top of the 8th. The DH Daniel Palka. Strike one. Saw the score from the Bay Bridge series going on, tied late. A's and the Giants in the Coliseum. A's entering tonight, was right behind the Mariners, 4 games back. 1-2. A's acquiring Jeurys Familia out of the Mets. Went over 50 saves a season ago. To add to one of the best bullpens, especially back ends of bullpens in the American League. Broken bat. Segura out. Gamble charged it in. Keeps his feet for out number 2.
I think the swing fooled him a little bit. A step back. Didn't realize he was jammed on the fly ball, but plenty of speed to make the catch. See Ben out in center field. It jams him. One step back and a late break, but able to make the play.
Familia, by the way, a free agent at the end of the season. The A's bullpen, Mike, entering tonight 38-0 the A's are when they hand things over to the bullpen with a lead after 7 innings. 38-0. Mariners can relate to that a little bit.
You already mentioned Trinan and Trevino, and now you're going to put Familia in there, so they'll be able to shorten up a ball game if they have a lead.
And a luxury for Bob Melvin, their skipper, to be able to hand the ball to Familia if Trinan is down for a day. Mariners know what that's like with Colomé. After all, Colomé's first appearance for the Mariners came when Diaz was down. He picked up the save. Three pitches, all strikes to Garcia. A runner is stranded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We'll be seeing Gamble, Vogelback, and Freitas come to the plate. Refreshing finish. We focus in on Dylan Covey. has been fantastic tonight. He's got a little bit of help from behind him as well.
They've had some pretty good defense behind him from a club that has really struggled defensively, but that has not been the case tonight. But he has been the story. There's a pretty good slider, but again, it's been a good fastball, 95 to 97 miles an hour with some run to it. Mariners just the one hit.
Now he is 1 out away from notching a career high in innings. I mentioned this in the early innings. He is making only his 24th career major league start. Very young pitcher. Has twice maxed out at 7 frames, both times this season. As he pitches into the 8th. Behind now, 1-2.
Yeah, we're starting to see the changeup a little bit more. His slider has been there throughout the game. Next pitch will be 90 for him, and his velocity down just a little bit.
Xavier Cedeno warming up for the White Sox.
Elias for the Mariners.
Moncada with a short throw to first base for out number 1. Six in a row retired by Kobe following the Mariners' lone hit tonight. That was D. Gordon in the 6th. Romanis. Probably throwing a curve.
Good chance. Good fastball first half of the season. His fastball was 94 to 96 miles an hour. They go along with that curveball. Threw the ball well.
Velocity definitely has spiked in the bullpen, and strike 1 gets poured across to Vogelback. Handcuffed to make it 0-2. Shift is on for Daniel. Down on strikes, out number 2. The Mariners just not able to get much going at all against Kobe tonight.
That was the changeup down out of the strike zone. Get a pinch hitter. Chris Herman will hit the David Freitas.
Herman batting with 2 outs and nobody aboard, bottom of the 8th inning. Looks for strike 1. There was hope that Mike Zunino would be with the big league club at the start of the second half, still working his way back from the ankle injury. Caught last night for Tacoma. Plan was to have him DH tonight. Herman rung up on 3 pitches. This has been a truly career night for Dylan Covey. 8 innings and a 1-hit shutout so far.
If you're like me, you love a sweet deal. You love to save money. Let me tell you what the M's have going on with some ticket prices I think you're going to want to take advantage of, as the team is offering some really good deals on concessions, merchandise, and tickets. One in particular are the new value games presented by BECU. At select games, view level and bleacher seats just $15, while main and club level seats are only $30. Now, the next value game presented by BECU is set for Monday, July 30th. It's coming up when the Mariners take on the division-leading Astros. For more information on other value opportunities, check out mariners.com/values. We send it upstairs to Aaron and Mike and a new arm on the mound.
That's right. Thank you, Tom. As Roenis Elias is ready to go.
10 appearances, a 2.33 ERA, and 19 and 30 his 12 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .212 against him. His fastball 94 to 96 miles an hour. Curveball and a changeup.
Ball to Narvaez. Now, Roenis was sporting something once we got off the flight to finish the first half, Mike, that I'm not sure there are many people who could pull it off. I know I certainly couldn't, as Herman.
He was able to, though.
He was able to. Mike, he had a backpack that appeared to be fairly customized. So much so that it had essentially a boombox, a stereo in the backpack with cutouts for the speakers, which seemed like a fairly convenient way to walk around and carry whatever belongings you might have and still simultaneously listen to whatever playlist you'd like to tune into. Roenis made it look pretty awesome.
I think you could pull that off.
Walking into the booth with my boombox backpack.
Next road trip is Thursday. Why don't you try it?
They might let me borrow it. There's Garcia. There's the fastball you were talking about, barely missing for ball one. Curve gets away a little bit. Oh, we're talking, Mike, about maybe for a brief time the Mariners moving to a 6-man rotation to save the innings. I'm not sure that the Mariners would necessarily consider Elias as somebody to get stretched out for that, especially if it would just be for a short stint. But Roenis moving forward, at least into next year, certainly a guy who we have seen in the rotation and pitch very well as a starter. Some good versatility there.
Well, again, I think that there are going to be some things that will probably make those decisions. One, you mentioned Erasmo Ramirez throwing a couple of innings last night. You can stay healthy and get back there as an option. See what happens before the trade deadline.
Span and left, charging to make the catch.
But I think Elias certainly is somebody that they would consider at some point.
Well, the final game of the series is tomorrow. We are on the air at 12:30. 1:10 our first pitch time. Kids run the bases post game. Marco Gonzalez up on the mound for the Mariners. Tremendous first half. Reynaldo Lopez will take the ball for the White Sox. Off day Monday, then the Giants in town for 2. First pitch curveball, strike to Delmonico. Sock to center. Gamble chasing after it, not going to get there, off the wall. Narvaez being held at third base. Delmonico checks in with a 1-out double.
He's going to turn around a fastball for Mara Supermo. Fastball middle in. See right there, right at the knees, just drops the barrel on it. Stottlemyre making a trip out to the mound. Adam Engel going to pinch run.
Good speed at second base as Mel and Herman talk things over along with Elias.
I think for Engel, he was going to be in the ball game. The better defenders in the outfield. Good center fielder. Juan Minaya getting loose in the pen for Chicago.
One out, two in scoring position for Tim Anderson, the number 9 hitter.
Left side of the infield playing halfway. The right side in on the grass.
Off the plate to make it 2-0. Picking up some speed. Mitch slowing down to make the catch. Narvaez coming home. The throw to Herman, and does he get the tag on him? The throw down to third base. Engel is safe. Missed the tag. Looked like he was going right for his shoes.
Well, and then he didn't stay with it. I'm not sure if he knew. Strong throw from Mitch Haniger. We know he has the strong throwing arm. Oh, he didn't catch it. It was off the heel of his glove. That's the reason why he decided to try to pick it up and throw the runner out at third. Just trying to be a little bit too quick to get in front of the plate. And it hit on the heel of his glove.
Moncada, a lift out to left. Span calling off Gamble to end the top of the ninth. Now 5-0 White Sox lead. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. And they land the bats of D. Gordon, Gene Segura, and Mitch Haniger, top of the order coming up. Dylan Covey is out to finish what he started. Pitch count is up there nearly 100. But he's on to work the 9th inning, 97 pitches, and he has been brilliant so far.
Very good fastball, running fastball. Last couple of innings mixed in his slider and changeup a little bit more. Mariners have one hit, and it's D. Gordon who's going to lead things off. He has the one hit. Base hit right back up the middle. Juan Minaya still getting loose in the pen. Next pitch will be 100, so you have to believe that if there is a base runner, they'll make a pitching change.
Now the last complete game thrown by a White Sox pitcher.
Soria actually getting loose now. Minaya sitting down. Sorry.
That's all right. It was Chris Sale in 2016. The White Sox have gone 273 games without a complete game. One down. Chris Sale has each of the last 3 CGs by a White Sox pitcher, and 6 of the last 7. The only other one mixed in there is James Shields. One out, nobody aboard for Segura. Rushes Segura back, 2-1. And to center field for a base hit. The second tonight for the Mariners.
And Rick Renteria out of the dugout quickly. Going to make a pitching change. James Segura, base hit right back up the middle.
As you expected, a pitching change with the man aboard now. What a performance tonight from Dylan Covey, working in the ninth. Best start by far of his young career. And Renteria officially makes the change to step aside.
8 1/3, just a couple of hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 105 pitches, 66 strikes.
Now facing Joakim Soria.
Soria, a veteran right-hander. Fastball 92 miles an hour, curve, split.
I lift out to left field. Back towards the corner, and a leap. Does it get out? It is caught by Garcia. My goodness. How on earth? Leury Garcia, who began the game in center, moving over to left.
Just perfectly timed his jump, gave himself enough room from the wall, and full extension to make the catch.
Been adjusting for overrunning it.
Some hang time.
Taking one away from Haniger. Here is Nelson Cruz. The difference getting Segura into second. Soria has been fantastic as of late since the beyond the halfway point in May, an ERA well beneath 1.
It's kind of replaying that catch in my head.
I'm sure Haniger is also.
This game, it always amazes me how you can just go out and have one of those nights. Mentioned Covey and the struggles that he's had, and tonight he pitches terrific. And look at Chicago and their last in fielding percentage in the American League, and they played some tremendous defense tonight, including that catch.
By a guy who's not exactly known as the most prolific defensive outfielder. That ends the game tonight. The Mariners drop the middle game, and then they will hand the ball to Marco Gonzalez tomorrow in the rubber game of this 3-game series.
You're going to have to find some offense. Just 3 runs in last night's game. That was good enough for them to get the win, but again, just the 2 hits tonight. So hopefully the offense a little better day tomorrow.
What a performance by Dylan Covey, pitching into the 9th. White Sox win it tonight 5-0. Mariners post game presented by Alaska Airlines. It begins right now. Ryan, Bradley, guys, it's all yours.
Aaron, Mike, thank you very much. So we'll pick up on that theme as Covey gets to celebrate his 4th win of the year, best start of his young career. 8 1/3 again, just the 2 hits. And Ryan, I think Mike hit the nail on the head. Last night, 3 runs was enough. Tonight, shutout. Really, the first 2 games against the Sox coming out of the break. Offense still slumbering, as we saw in that Colorado series.
Yeah, it has been a little bit. And then you look at the last 2 nights, it's really been about the starting pitching. Last night, Wade LeBlanc for the Mariners, and tonight, Dylan Covey, who has been struggling. But this is what happens when you run into a team like the Chicago White Sox. You're going to run into these young guys with stuff. You're looking at a guy 94 to 96 with good movement on that fastball, throws a ton of them, and he was really good tonight and showed what the White Sox, when they're in a rebuilding phase, what they have to look forward to. He was really good.
Yeah, before the game you said this guy's got really good stuff.
Yeah.
As usual, I did not believe you. But as usual, you were right once again as Covey wins this game. And Avisail Garcia activated from the DL today just in time to hit this 4th inning home run off Felix Hernandez. That was really all the White Sox needed. First pitch, swing at dead center. 5-0. The White Sox take game 2 of the set. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines coming up right here on Root Sports.